I'm Ellie, and I'm barely 18. My heart pounding as I stumble onto the 10:49 train to Edinburgh. The platform blurs behind me, a haze of gray concrete and hurried strangers. My phone's clutched tight in my hand, my auburn hair a tangled mess from running to catch this train. I'd screamed for Dad, Larry I call him to his endless annoyance, to answer his phone just moments ago, my voice cracking with a fear I couldn't name. Something's wrong, deep in my gut, like a storm brewing under my skin. The train's whistle shrieks, doors hiss shut, and I'm trapped inside, the carriage swaying as it pulls away. I collapse into the gangway, my knees weak, my short skirt riding up as I hit the floor. The ticket inspector looms over me, his lanky frame casting a shadow. His sigh is heavy, like I'm just another problem on his morning shift. "Miss, can I see your ticket?" he asks, his voice clipped. I try to speak, but my throat's tight, words dissolving into a shaky, "I'm scared. Larry, My hands tremble, fumbling with my phone, which slips from my grip and clatters to the floor. The inspector's eyes flicker with unease, his gaze darting away as I scramble to sit up, my skirt betraying me further. If you don't have a ticket, you'll need to leave at the next stop," he says, his tone firm but wavering, like he's trying to convince himself. I barely hear him. My skin's too hot, my pulse racing, like something's clawing its way out of me. I tug at my blouse, buttons straining, my breath hitching. The air feels thick, charged with something I can't place. "Miss, do you need help?" he asks, crouching now, his voice softer but edged with panic. I shake my head, but my body's not listening, my hands moving on their own, desperate to ease the pressure building inside me. "I'm going to call the driver," he says, standing abruptly, his eyes scanning the empty carriage behind us. "Stay here." But I can't stay still. My legs shift, my skirt hikes higher, and I feel exposed, vulnerable, like the train itself is watching me. I whisper, the words slipping out, unfinished. I don't even know what I want, only that it's urgent, overwhelming. The inspector hesitates, his hand on the radio clipped to his belt. But before he can act, I lurch forward, grabbing his arm. He stumbles, catching himself against the wall, his face inches from mine. For a moment, our eyes lock, and I see it, fear, mirrored in his gaze. He pulls away, muttering, "Miss, please," and backs toward the door to the next carriage. I'm left alone, my breath ragged, the hum of the train vibrating through me. The air's heavier now, laced with a faint, sweet scent that makes my head spin. I force myself to stand, clutching the edge of a seat for balance. The carriage is quiet, too quiet, the other passengers hidden behind high seat backs or lost in their own worlds. But something's off. I can feel it, like eyes on my back, like whispers just out of earshot. I need to find Larry. He's here somewhere, probably on his phone, ignoring me like always. I'd begged him not to come, told him I could make this trip alone, but he'd insisted. His jaw tight with that mix of duty and resentment he wears around me. Now, I'm glad he's here, even if he's useless. I stagger down the aisle, my sneakers squeaking on the linoleum, the train sway throwing me off balance. The sweet scent grows stronger, cloying, sticking to the back of my throat. It's familiar, but I can't place it, like a memory I've buried. At the end of the carriage, I pause at the sliding glass door to the vestibule. My reflection stares back, wild-eyed, my blouse half open, my skirt a crumpled mess. I look like I've been running from something, or toward it. My hand hovers over the button to open the door, but a sound stops me, a low, guttural moan from the other side. It's not pain, not exactly, but it's urgent, raw. My stomach twists, curiosity warring with dread. I press the button and the door hisses open. The vestibule is dim, the fluorescent lights flickering. The moan comes again, louder, joined by others. A chorus of strange, desperate sounds. I step forward, the door sliding shut behind me, sealing me in. The sweet scent is overpowering now, wrapping around me like a fog. I clutch my phone tighter, my thumb hovering over Larry's contact. But the signal's gone, the screen a useless glow. The sounds are coming from the next carriage, and against every instinct screaming at me to turn back, I move toward them. The door to the next carriage is already open, and I freeze at the threshold. The air is thick, humid, the scent so intense it's dizzying. I see shapes moving in the seats, shadows twisting in ways that don't make sense. A man's head lolls back, his eyes half open, glassy. A woman's voice gasps, sharp and needy. My heart hammers, my feet rooted to the spot. I want to scream, to run, but my body betrays me, inching forward, drawn to the chaos. I reach a cluster of seats and the scene hits me like a punch. A businessman, tie loose, eyes wild, is gripping the armrests, his knuckles white. Across from him, an older man, his face flushed, is muttering something I can't make out. Between them, a woman's bent over, her skirt hiked up, her hands braced on the seat. She's moaning, her voice a mix of protest and something else. Something that sends a shiver down my spine. The businessman's staring at me now, his gaze predatory, and I stumble back, my breath catching. "Miss?" The businessman calls, his voice low, almost a growl. I shake my head, backing toward the vestibule, but the sounds are everywhere now, filling the carriage. Gasps, groans, the rustle of fabric. I glance around, and it's not just this group. Every seat, every corner is alive with movement, with need. Couples, groups, strangers tangled together, their faces twisted with a hunger I don't understand. My skin prickles, the air too warm, too close. I turn and run, my sneakers pounding the floor, back through the vestibule, past the locked toilet where I'd heard those first moans. The door to my carriage looms ahead, and I slam the button, praying it opens. It does, and I stumble inside, gasping, my eyes darting to where Larry's sitting, his phone pressed to his ear. He doesn't look up, doesn't notice the panic on my face. "Larry!" I shout, my voice breaking. "Larry, listen to me!" He glances up, annoyed, his mouth opening to dismiss me, but I grab his arm, yanking the phone away. "Something's wrong," I say, my words tumbling out. "Really fucking wrong." His eyes narrow, and I see the priest across the aisle glaring, his daughter clutching her book tighter. Larry's face flushes, embarrassed, but I don't care. I went to the bathroom, and there were people, the ticket inspector, and this girl, and "Ellie, slow down!" he snaps, standing, his broad frame towering over me. "What are you talking about?" I try to explain, but the words sound insane. The inspector, the girl, the sounds, the carriage. But before I can finish, he's dragging me back to the vestibule, his grip tight on my wrist. "You want my attention?" he says, his voice low, furious. "You wear that outfit, act like this, and now you're wasting my time with some story?" I flinch, his words cutting deeper than I want to admit. "That's all I am to you, isn't it?" I say, my voice trembling. "A waste of time?" His face softens for a split second, guilt flickering, but before he can respond, we hear it. A groan from the toilet. It's not locked, the door slightly ajar. Larry steps past me, his hand on the handle, and I want to scream at him to stop, but I'm frozen. He pulls the door open, and I catch a glimpse. A girl, auburn hair like mine, perched on the sink, her blouse torn, her eyes wild. The ticket inspector's there, his face buried in her lap, and she's gasping, her hands clawing at his hair. Larry slams the door shut, his face pale, and I'm shaking, my mind reeling. "What the hell?" he mutters, backing away, his hand on my shoulder now, protective. "Larry," I whisper, but he's not listening, his eyes fixed on the far end of the vestibule. A woman's there, her clothes disheveled, her hair a mess. She's swaying, her eyes locked on us, her lips parted. "I want," she says, her voice sultry, desperate. The sweet scent hits me again, stronger, and I feel it. Something stirring in me, something dangerous. Larry pushes me behind him, his voice firm. "Miss, stay back. I'll get help." She steps closer, her hand trailing down her thigh, and I see it. Something glistening, something wrong. "Jesus, Ellie, don't look," Larry says, but I can't tear my eyes away. The woman's close now, too close, and I feel Larry tense, his body shielding mine. The scent is overwhelming, clouding my thoughts, and for a moment I almost step toward her, drawn by that same need I felt earlier. Then the door behind her opens, and an older man stumbles in, his eyes bloodshot, his movements jerky. "I want," he growls, and before I can process it, he's on her, their bodies colliding in a frantic, animalistic tangle. Larry grabs me, pulling me back toward our carriage, his breath ragged. "We're getting off at the next stop," he says, his voice shaking. This isn't right." We stumble back to our seats, the priest still glaring, the carriage blissfully normal compared to what we've just seen. But I can't shake it. The sounds, the scent, the way my body reacted like it was betraying me. Larry's on his phone again, trying to call someone, anyone, but the signal's dead. I sit, my hands trembling, my mind racing. What's happening on this train? What's happening to me? The train slows, the next station approaching, but the air feels heavier, the sweet scent creeping back. I glance at Larry, his jaw tight, his eyes scanning the carriage. "Stay close," he says, and I nod, but deep down, I'm not sure I trust myself.